In the late 13th century, on the rugged frontiers of Anatolia, a small principality stood at the edge of a collapsing world. The once mighty Seljuk Sultanate was fragmenting. The Byzantine Empire, which had ruled these lands for centuries, was weakened and divided. Out of this political chaos emerged a new power that would shape the course of world history for more than 600 years, the Ottoman Empire. The story begins with a relatively obscure frontier leader named Osman I. Born around 1258, Osman inherited a small tribal domain in northwestern Anatolia, near the Byzantine border. At the time, his territory was insignificant compared to the great empires of the world. Yet geography was on his side. Positioned between a declining Byzantine state and fragmented Turkish principalities, Osman's lands became a magnet for warriors seeking opportunity. These frontier fighters, known as Ghazis, were motivated by faith, ambition, and the promise of wealth. They rallied around Osman not simply because he was powerful, but because he offered direction. He provided leadership in an era where many rulers struggled to maintain order. Through calculated raids and strategic alliances, Osman expanded his territory steadily. Rather than overextending himself, he focused on nearby Byzantine towns and fortresses, gradually building a stable base.
What distinguished Osman from many other regional warlords was not just military initiative, but vision. He understood that survival required more than battlefield success. He needed administration, loyalty, and legitimacy. By incorporating conquered populations rather than alienating them, he laid the foundations of a flexible and pragmatic state. Christians, Muslims, and diverse ethnic groups found space within his growing domain. When Osman died around 1324, his small frontier principality had transformed into a serious regional power. But the real architect of expansion was his son, Orhan. Orhan proved to be not only a warrior, but a state builder. He captured the important city of Bursa in 1326, which became the first major Ottoman capital. This was more than symbolic. Bursa allowed the Ottomans to establish a structured administration, mint coins, and formalize governance. The transformation from tribal confederation to organized state was underway. Under Orhan, the Ottomans crossed into Europe for the first time. Taking advantage of Byzantine civil wars, they established a foothold in Gallipoli in 1354. This marked a turning point. The Ottomans were no longer a regional Anatolian force. They had entered the Balkans. The Balkans were politically fragmented. Local rulers competed against one another, and no unified resistance emerged quickly enough to halt Ottoman progress. The Ottomans combined military organization with political pragmatism. Instead of destroying local elites, they often allowed them to retain authority under Ottoman oversight. This reduced resistance and stabilized new territories. A key element in Ottoman expansion was institutional innovation. The empire developed systems that were both disciplined and adaptable. One of the most significant was the formation of the Janissary Corps, an elite infantry force recruited through the Devshirme system. These soldiers were trained with intense discipline and became directly loyal to the Sultan, strengthening central authority.
By the late 14th century, under rulers like Murad I and Bayezid I, Ottoman power in the Balkans expanded dramatically. Major victories consolidated control across southeastern Europe. The Ottomans demonstrated a remarkable ability to integrate cavalry, infantry, and emerging artillery tactics into coordinated strategy. However, the rise of the Ottomans was not without setbacks. In 1402, the empire faced a devastating challenge when the Central Asian conqueror Timur defeated Bayezid I at the Battle of Ankara. The Ottoman state nearly collapsed during the subsequent period of civil war known as the Interregnum. Yet this crisis revealed another strength of the Ottoman system: resilience. Unlike many empires that disintegrated after catastrophic defeat, the Ottomans reorganized. By 1413, Mehmed I restored unity and rebuilt the foundations of imperial governance. The state emerged from near destruction more centralized and structured than before.
The true climax of Ottoman ascent came under Mehmed II, known to history as Mehmed the Conqueror. In 1453, after meticulous preparation, he captured Constantinople. The fall of Constantinople marked the end of the Byzantine Empire and symbolized a dramatic shift in global power. The conquest was not merely military triumph. Mehmed II immediately began transforming the city into a thriving imperial capital. Renamed Istanbul, it became the heart of a cosmopolitan empire. Churches, mosques, markets, and administrative centers coexisted within a reorganized urban structure. Trade routes between Europe and Asia flourished under Ottoman control. The capture of Constantinople elevated the Ottoman ruler from regional monarch to global emperor. The empire now stood at the crossroads of continents, controlling strategic trade networks and commanding immense prestige. Following Mehmed II, expansion continued. The Ottomans consolidated control over Anatolia, the Balkans, and parts of the Middle East. Their success lay not solely in battlefield tactics, but in administrative sophistication. The Timar system distributed land revenues to cavalry officers in exchange for service, creating a decentralized yet loyal military class. Religious tolerance, within limits, also played a role. The millet system allowed religious communities to govern their own affairs under Ottoman supervision. This reduced rebellion and fostered relative stability across diverse populations. By the early 16th century, under Selim I, the empire expanded dramatically into the Middle East, incorporating Syria, Egypt, and the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. This not only expanded territorial control, but enhanced religious legitimacy. The rise reached its zenith under Suleiman the Magnificent. During his reign, the Ottoman Empire became one of the most powerful states in the world. Its territories stretched from Hungary to Arabia, from North Africa to Mesopotamia. Suleiman reformed legal codes, strengthened naval dominance in the Mediterranean, and sponsored architectural masterpieces that still define Istanbul's skyline today. But what truly explains the rise of the Ottoman Empire? It was geography, positioned between Europe and Asia. It was leadership, from Osman to Suleiman. It was adaptability, blending tribal traditions with bureaucratic governance. It was innovation, integrating new military technologies and administrative systems. And perhaps most importantly, it was resilience, the ability to recover from crisis stronger than before. The Ottomans did not rise overnight. Their ascent was gradual, calculated, and often pragmatic. They understood that empire building required more than conquest. It required systems, institutions, and legitimacy. From a small frontier principality in 1299 to a world empire commanding 3 continents, the rise of the Ottoman Empire remains one of history's most remarkable transformations. Its legacy continues to shape the modern Middle East, the Balkans, and Turkey itself. The story of its rise is not simply of expansion, but of vision. A vision that turned a borderland state into one of the longest-lasting empires in human history.